What's up everyone, welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like and subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon. We're posting 4 videos every day, so make sure to check back every single day. We're aiming for 20k subscribers and get the deal in the description if you haven't already. Plenty of free crypto and goodies down there. This is not financial advice. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. What's up guys, so just before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe and the bell icon. People aren't seeing our content and this is probably because you haven't hit the bell icon. Thank you again for all your support. The algorithm is slamming a lot of content creators right now, so we really appreciate all your support. And we're so proud of the amazing community that we built, so make sure to jump into the Telegram and the free Discord. What's up guys, so we're just taking a look at a sponsored look at PIONEX here. Now obviously we don't do sponsored videos very often because we really believe in, not just taking loads and loads of sponsored videos for the sake of it. We actually like to tell you about products that we actually believe in personally and things that we actually would use and are using ourselves. And PIONEX is something that we've actually been looking at for a few months now. Basically, as you may know, we've already been looking at BitsGap, which is another trading platform that actually uses bots, where you can essentially make passive revenues while accumulating cryptocurrencies. And PIONEX is essentially a similar kind of thing that we've been looking at. We actually took a look at this platform basically about 6 months ago, and we've been looking at it ever since. And when PIONEX reached out to us to basically do a collaboration, we thought it made a lot of sense, considering this is a platform we've been actually testing ourselves and looking at utilizing in the future to essentially use bots to trade for cryptocurrencies, accumulate more of cryptos that we want to have, and basically make yields on the market and a bit more passive income, which is something that we've been quite focused on recently. Obviously the market has been going very, very nicely overall for the past year, but a massive bull market and a lot of gains have been made. But recently our focus has started to shift into how can we make ourselves some passive income opportunities that could potentially, allow us to generate wealth going into the future regardless of what's going on in the markets. And PIONEX was one of the things that cropped up for us. So basically overall PIONEX is essentially an exchange. You can see here on the general market screen here, you can actually just spot trade a lot of cryptocurrencies here. You can see they've got literally loads and loads and loads and loads of cryptocurrencies, basically all the big ones that you could probably want. A lot of different cryptocurrencies here and a lot of micro caps as well, but they're obviously all the top ones that you most likely want to be trading: Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. They've got spot ones, they've got leverage ones for quite a lot of the larger cryptos here. You can see you've got 3x long and short, etc. And basically you can see here the list of lots of different stuff here looking good. But overall, you would say they've got basically a lot of different cryptocurrency pairs for your basic exchange needs, which is good to see. Obviously, you can see here a massive list of cryptos. But as we said, the main thing that we're interested in is the potential for bot trading. As you can see here, when we go onto the trade tab up here, you can see we've got this list on the right of all these different kinds of bots that have actually been provided by PIONEX that essentially fulfill different kinds of opportunities to trade with bots on the market. You can see here there's so many different options here, all with they've got a fairly decent kind of indication of what they're trying to capture here based on their titles, and they've got a nice little description underneath of basically what they do and how they work and how you can basically benefit from using them. So you can see here, obviously we've just dropped onto the Bitcoin USDT chart here, and you can see there's loads of different options here potentially for different kinds of bots that we could potentially set up. So just going through a few of the main ones that you'll probably want to be looking at. You can see the grid trading bot here. Obviously grid trading is probably the most popular and the most well-known kind of trading with bots, where basically they put lots of limit buy and sell orders, and then obviously when they get fulfilled, they do tiny little transactional trades for you that are, basically normal humans wouldn't be able to really do feasibly, because it does literally potentially hundreds of trades every day. Tiny little trades which make you little profits, and then obviously over time that generates you kind of an APY or a yield that you can measure based on the performance of how the asset's going. And this is basically one of the main trading strategies that you would probably utilize. One of the things that I like about PIONEX the most, by the way, is how when you scroll over these different bots, it actually shows you what kind of market that they're good for. Because we've actually been using BitsGap for a few months now, using the demo account on their platform, and we've actually been, even though we've actually done quite well with the bots, sometimes they don't seem to perform as well depending on what the market conditions are like. So we really like on PIONEX the fact that it actually tells you a lot about how these bots will perform and how they would best perform depending on the market conditions. So if you know that things are probably going to be chopping sideways for a fair while, you can see here that this grid trading bot will probably suit quite well because it says sideways bullish, which generally means that if the market's going sideways and slowly to the upside, that's probably going to benefit this bot the most in terms of the gains that you can potentially make. And then you can obviously see there's a variety of other bots here. If we just basically click onto this one, you'll see a bit more of the interface. PIONEX have kindly gave us $500 USDT here that we can use to demonstrate in the video as well. So thank you very much to PIONEX. You can see here, it actually gives you a nice back-tested annualized return where you can basically get an idea of how much you could potentially be making with this bot over the period of a year. So basically you can see you could potentially be making around 67% here on Bitcoin with this bot, which is exceptionally good and really, really nice to see. Basically, it's a very, very nice way of accumulating certain assets that you want to have. And you can see, obviously, this is an amazing, amazing yield. And potentially, as we said, we've been looking for passive income opportunities where we could be making extra passive incomes and basically diversifying our revenue streams, which is one of the main reasons we've been looking into PIONEX specifically for their trading bots, and obviously getting potentially yields on assets that we want to accumulate as well, such as Bitcoin or Ethereum, those big boys that you basically just want to keep on accumulating over time. So you can see here, the potential here is obviously very, very nice indeed. And that you can obviously do this with not just Bitcoin, but with a lot of other different cryptocurrencies. For example, if I change this to Ethereum, you can see obviously, if I can just go back onto trade, you can see here, if I change the asset here, you can get an idea of the different kinds of potential returns you could be looking at. You can see here, the Ethereum back test is actually around 200% based on the past year's performance. Obviously, this is at 7 days here. They've back tested for 7 days and then annualized the return. So this is what you could probably expect depending on how things go. But you can see here, this is, I mean, 200% on Ethereum over the course of a year is obviously absolutely insane. And this is probably, you know, in large part due to the bull run, obviously. As you can see on this chart, we've had a massive, massive run up, which will obviously help the bot. But overall, we would say, you know, if you're thinking the market's going to be bullish for the next, you know, 6 months still, then putting one of these bots on might be quite a good way to accumulate a nice little APY, especially if you've just got USDT lying around and you want to generate a yield on it, because this is something we've been thinking about as well. Obviously, we've got a lot of crypto assets personally, but we do have a large bag of stable coins ready to buy those dips. But whilst those stable coins are just sitting around, if you're not earning a yield on them, then they're basically just kind of burning a hole in our pocket, shall we say. And we've been thinking about ways of how can we essentially get yields on these different cryptocurrencies, on these stable coins, sorry, whilst not actually investing them, but just waiting for those opportunities. And this is obviously a way that you could potentially do this. Basically taking some, you know, a portion of your stable coin, part of your portfolio, and putting them into these kinds of passive income opportunities to generate a bit more of a yield could potentially be potentially a very good way of making more profit. So this is obviously just the trading bot. As you can see here, if we just go and take a look on the grid trading bot, there's obviously a lot more different trading bots here. Spot futures arbitrage bots are a bit more complicated, but you can see if you click on this, you can actually get an idea of the potential returns that you could be looking at. And they also have handy dandy tutorials for everything, which will walk you through exactly what they are and how they work, which is good to see. By the way, look how good this chart is. Obviously, we're a technical analysis channel. I just can't help but think this chart is amazing. You can see the run up, the big correction. We come up and make the new all-time high. Back testing this previous area of structure. I mean, we could be looking at 100k Bitcoin in the next 6 months, maybe a lot more than that. But anyway, you can see here quite clearly, if you just take a look at these APRs, you can see potentially you're getting, you know, these are very, very stable APRs. 180 days, 10% on Bitcoin. Very, very nice little yield that you could potentially be getting. So there's plenty of opportunities here. You can see all these different bots, and they actually give you a nice little idea of what they essentially are, what they're for as well. You can see you can actually create your own index here, so you can get a bag of loads of different cryptocurrencies and have like 10 different cryptocurrencies and have a little index, like an ETF essentially made by yourself. There's obviously the Bitcoin Moon bot, which is quite clearly, you know, it gives you a little description of what it is. Easy to start, wide price range, 500 grids, long-term strategy. So this is basically if you want to accumulate Bitcoin for the long term and you think Bitcoin in the long term is going to keep going up. You can see here, this is obviously designed for a bit more of a longer term thing. And when you scroll over it, you can see that fitting market is flexible. And obviously you've got a variety of other bots here. You can see the ETH Moon one, exactly the same, easy to start, wide price range, 500 grids, long-term strategy. And then as we get down towards here, we've got more advanced ones. You can see here, leveraged grid. Basically, it's the same as the grid bot, but it adds leverage. But obviously this does add an element of potential margin. You know, you have margin then that you can potentially be liquidated on. So just something to be aware of. Obviously, these advanced bots, you need to research a bit more before you just get into them blindly, because obviously they could backfire on you if you are doing some of these more advanced techniques. But you can see here, there's lots of different bots here, all with their own different kinds of things. This is basically a bearish bot here, where you can, if you think the market's going to turn bearish, you can actually flick this on, and things could, if you think things are heading to the downside, you can essentially get, you know, you can take advantage of that as well. The leveraged reverse grid, you can see here, these are obviously the same, just on basically going to the downside. There's basically, as we keep going down this list, you can see more and more different kinds of bots. And you can basically see just how easy this is. I mean, if I just click on this one, for example, I don't really know anything about this bot specifically, but you can actually see quite clearly that all the basically the information is here for you, so you can get an idea of exactly what it is and what it'll do quite quickly, really. And they give you these nice little descriptions below, which is really, really good as well, so you can get an idea of what you're getting into. But overall, we do think that this is a very, very good, very, very good platform indeed. That could be, you know, another potential option for passive income. The bots do look very, very powerful, and obviously bot trading in itself a very, very good way to potentially make a really nice passive income. So I really like the idea of this dollar cost averaging bot as well, where you can essentially just have a fixed amount of capital that you want to put into a bot, and then over time it will average into an asset that you want to see here. So for example, you can actually set the frequency of the investments here. So if you want to buy Bitcoin let's say you want to buy Bitcoin every week for as long as, you know, the capital remains, you can see here, if you put, for example, if we put our 500 USDT in here, you can see it would average into this with, let's just say, $100 for 5 weeks. If I can actually type, you can see here, it'll put $100 in for 5 weeks until the whole of the amount of money is actually invested, which is good to see. And then you'll basically have a position that's been averaged into over 5 weeks, which is really, really cool. And that's just another way that you can, you know, utilize bots to do stuff for you without having to, you know, do that stuff yourself, basically. So you can see here, there's lots of different bots, basically all of them looking really, really good in our opinion. And with the market pulling back right now, it does seem like, in our opinion, a good time to potentially enter whilst things are pulling back a little bit, for potentially a little bit of upside. So we're thinking we like the look of that ETH USDT trading bot that we looked at earlier, that grid strategy. So we're basically just going to use the settings that they provide, because they look like they are basically giving you a very, very nice little spread here between 3,500 and 4,750. So a nice little spread all the way down to around here. So you can see we're capturing a large amount of a very large amount of the price action here. So I'm thinking I'm probably just going to create this bot, because it looks like the settings are very, very nice indeed. This is super easy to set up. I'm just going to select all my capital to $500, which is the amount that I've got in there in USDT. You can see here, this is just the AI strategy that they provide, and it does look as though it is performing very nicely. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this. You can say, just going to say yes to this. Continue. And as we can see, the bot is now running. At the bottom here, you can see we've got METH to USDT. It was just saying that basically there's better liquidity for that wrapped version of ETH. So basically what we've done is we've started our bot now. You can see quite clearly here it is running at the bottom. We've got, and if you click on the details here, you can see a lot of details about what's happening with the bot here. You can see obviously it's starting to trade. It's opening positions, and you'll get over time, you can see all the positions here that it will open and close, the balance, and basically how things are going in general. And you can see, you know, you've got all your options here looking very, very nice indeed. So basically, if we go back to trade here, you can see our bot's currently open. It's got a little bit of profit right now. I think the market is probably going to get a bounce from here. So I think it was a good time to get into the bot, because you'll obviously capture some of that upside. as you can see here, we're getting a little bit of profits coming through now, and it really is that simple to use PIONEX. So basically, this is a project we do think that is, you know, a good potential diversification. Obviously, a very nice interface, very easy to use. Obviously, a lot of potential as well. You can see some of the APYs on those assets that you can accumulate for looking very, very good as well. And overall, we do think it's probably, you know, definitely something that's worth looking into. So we'll leave our referral link in the description below. You can go check it out. It's free to sign up, and you basically, all you need to do is just put your allocate your capital into your account. Very easy to do. You quite literally just go in, deposit via your you can just go in, deposit via your account here. You can use Tron or ERC if you really want to, if you want to body those fees, and deposit to PIONEX, and then you just use your USDT to open the bot. It's really that simple. So we'll leave our referral link in the description below. Please go and check it out. Go and sign up via that. We will get a nice little kickback for that, which would be really appreciated from you guys. But overall, we do think PIONEX is a very, very good opportunity. We'll do a follow-up video in about a month's time and see how this bot's doing. But overall, that's probably all we've got for you. So there we go. That's it, guys. We'd like to thank everyone so much for their support. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe and then hit the real subscribe button, which is the bell icon, to stay up to date with 4 videos we post every single day. Remember, if you want to support the channel more directly and get a ton of benefits and insight, as well as joining our growing community, consider the Patreon or YouTube membership down below. There are 3 tiers giving you access to our private Discord. Crypto Supporter is available if you just want to help us out a small amount. Crypto Maximalist is our main tier, which gives you access to detailed daily technical analysis and signals, weekly and monthly coin calls, and insights into our personal moves, while Maximalist Gold takes it a step further, giving you an insight into our personal portfolio tracker, super low cap gem research, and a 100x portfolio we're constructing and updating, and access to us personally as a resource to discuss your portfolio via Messenger. Make sure to check it out. You can also sign up to our free Telegram and public Discord via the description as well. All the links are in the description for affiliate links for discounts and free crypto, so go check them all out below. There's plenty of goodness on offer. Please like and subscribe. We are Crypto Maximalists.